What if I told you there is one simple food sitting quietly in your kitchen that can reduce inflammation faster than turmeric, without expensive supplements, without complicated diets, and without side effects? We've all been taught that turmeric is the king of anti-inflammatory foods. And yes, it's powerful. But today, science is pointing towards something even stronger, something more bioavailable, and something your body absorbs almost instantly. Chronic inflammation is the silent root behind joint pain, belly fat, fatigue, brain fog, heart disease, diabetes, and even premature aging. You may be eating healthy and still suffering because your inflammation is quietly burning from inside. Now imagine switching just one food in your daily routine and giving your body a natural fire extinguisher. A food that calms your immune system, protects your cells, repairs damage, and starts healing from the very first bite. No hype, no marketing tricks. Just research-backed truth. This food works at the cellular level. It doesn't mask symptoms, it targets the cause. It balances oxidative stress, regulates inflammatory pathways, and helps your body return to its natural state of healing. And the best part? It's affordable, easy to use, and suitable for almost everyone. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what this food is, why it outperforms turmeric, how to use it correctly, and how to make it a daily habit that transforms your health from inside out. If you care about your body, your future, and your healing journey, stay with me till the end. And don't forget to subscribe to Care and Cure Corner, because your health deserves real solutions, not trends. Inflammation is not your enemy by nature. It is your body's emergency response system, designed to protect, repair, and heal. When you cut your finger or catch an infection, inflammation rushes in like a rescue team. But the real danger begins when this system never turns off. Modern lifestyle has quietly trapped millions of people in a state of low-grade, chronic inflammation that keeps burning inside the body day and night. Processed foods, excess sugar, poor sleep, emotional stress, pollution, lack of movement, and even constant screen exposure send danger signals to your immune system. Over time, your body forgets how to switch the alarm off. That's when inflammation stops being a protector and starts becoming a silent destroyer. It damages your joints, thickens your blood, weakens your heart, disrupts your hormones, and ages your skin from the inside. The scary part is that it doesn't always show up as sharp pain. It whispers through fatigue that never goes away, stiffness in the morning, slow digestion, stubborn belly fat, frequent headaches, mood swings, and brain fog. People normalize these symptoms and call them stress or aging, without realizing they are warning signs of a deeper fire burning within. This silent inflammation is also the root behind most chronic diseases we fear today, including diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, autoimmune disorders, and even memory decline. Medicines may reduce symptoms, but they rarely solve the cause. If the fire keeps burning, the damage continues quietly. This is why nutrition becomes more powerful than pills. Food is not just fuel, it is information for your cells. Every bite either feeds inflammation or fights it. Your body is constantly listening to what you eat and deciding whether to stay in survival mode or return to healing mode. But here is where most people make a mistake. They hear about anti-inflammatory foods and jump on trends without understanding how their body actually absorbs and uses them. They depend on one famous ingredient, thinking it alone will solve everything. That blind trust can slow down healing and even create false hope. What if the food you rely on is powerful in theory but weak in absorption? What if your inflammation needs faster, deeper support than what you are currently giving it? This is the moment to be alert, because not all anti-inflammatory solutions work the same way inside the body. Some are slow, some are incomplete, and some need special conditions to even function. And that brings us to a crucial truth you must understand next. The most popular inflammation-fighting spice in the world might not be as effective for you as you think. Turmeric has earned its reputation, and there is no denying its power, but the problem is not the spice itself, it is how the human body handles it. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is extremely fragile and poorly absorbed. When you consume turmeric alone, only a tiny fraction of its healing potential actually reaches your bloodstream. Most of it passes through your digestive system unused. Means that many people who faithfully drink turmeric milk or sprinkle turmeric on their meals believe they are fighting inflammation, while in reality, their body is receiving a very limited dose of its benefits. To make curcumin effective, it needs black pepper to increase absorption and fat to help it dissolve, and even then, the improvement is still modest for many individuals. Without this combination, turmeric becomes more symbolic than therapeutic. Another issue is speed. Turmeric works slowly. It requires long-term consistency before noticeable changes appear. For people dealing with deep inflammation, joint pain, or metabolic stress, slow action can feel frustrating. Healing should not be delayed when your body is already struggling. Some people even increase their turmeric intake thinking more is better, but excessive amounts can irritate the stomach, interfere with certain medications, and cause digestive discomfort. What started as a healing habit can quietly turn into another stress on the system. This is the hidden risk of blindly following trends without understanding the biology behind them. There is also the misconception that one superfood can do all the work. Turmeric mainly targets specific inflammatory pathways, but inflammation is complex and multidimensional. It involves oxidative stress, immune imbalance, gut health, blood vessel function, and cellular damage. Depending solely on turmeric is like trying to put out a house fire with a small cup of water. Helpful, yes, but rarely enough. Your body often needs something that can work from multiple angles at once, something that is absorbed easily, acts quickly, and supports different systems simultaneously. This is where awareness becomes critical. You don't need to abandon turmeric, but you do need to understand its limitations. If your inflammation is persistent, if your pain is not improving, if your energy remains low, then your body is asking for stronger, faster support. The danger is assuming you are protected while the fire is still burning inside. And this is the turning point, because once you realize that the most famous anti-inflammatory spice has practical weaknesses, your mind becomes open to something more powerful, something your body recognizes instantly, absorbs naturally, and uses almost immediately. A food so simple and underestimated that most people never think of it as medicine, yet its anti-inflammatory effect rivals pharmaceutical solutions. That underestimated medicine is extra virgin olive oil. And once you understand what live inside this golden liquid, you realize why it outperforms so many popular remedies. Unlike turmeric, which struggles to enter your bloodstream, extra virgin olive oil is already in a form your body recognizes and absorbs easily. The moment it touches your tongue, it activates sensory receptors that respond to its anti-inflammatory compounds. One of these compounds, called oleocanthal, is so powerful that scientists discovered it works in a way remarkably similar to common anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen. It blocks the same inflammatory enzymes that cause pain, swelling, and tissue damage, but without stressing your stomach, kidneys, or liver. This is not a slow symbolic effect. This is a direct biochemical action that begins almost immediately. What makes this even more extraordinary is that you don't need large amounts. Just 1 tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil can deliver a measurable anti-inflammatory impact. That slight burning sensation you sometimes feel in your throat when you taste a strong olive oil is actually a sign of oleocanthal at work. It is your body's first signal that healing compounds are being activated. While turmeric waits for special combinations to become effective, olive oil arrives already prepared, already bioavailable, already usable. This is why cultures that consume olive oil daily, like those following the Mediterranean lifestyle, show lower rates of arthritis, heart disease, chronic pain, and even neurodegenerative disorders. They are not relying on supplements. They are feeding their bodies a natural anti-inflammatory agent with every meal. Over time, this creates an internal environment where inflammation struggles to survive. Blood vessels remain flexible, joints stay lubricated, cells remain protected, and the immune system stays calm instead of aggressive. But here comes a light warning that most people overlook. Not all olive oil is the same. Refined oils, cheap blends, or heavily processed versions do not contain meaningful amounts of oleocanthal. Many bottles on supermarket shelves are stripped of the very compounds that make olive oil medicinal. If the oil is not cold-pressed, fresh, and labeled as extra virgin, its healing power is dramatically reduced. Using the wrong type can create the illusion of protection while inflammation continues silently. This is where awareness becomes just as important as intention. And still, the magic of extra virgin olive oil goes deeper than pain relief. It doesn't just block inflammation from the outside, it works from the inside at the cellular level, protecting the very structures that keep your body alive and energetic. It stabilizes your immune response, shields your cells from oxidative stress, and strengthens your body's ability to repair itself. Once you realize this, the question is no longer whether olive oil helps. The real question becomes how exactly it transforms your cells into a healing environment, and why its effects are so broader and more powerful than anything you've tried before. Extra virgin olive oil doesn't just calm inflammation on the surface, it goes deep into the microscopic world of your cells where true healing begins. Inside your body, inflammation is driven by oxidative stress, unstable immune reactions, and damaged cellular structures. When your cells are under attack from free radicals, they send distress signals that trigger even more inflammation, creating a vicious cycle. Extra virgin olive oil breaks this cycle. Its rich antioxidants, especially polyphenols, neutralize free radicals before they can damage your cells. This protects your DNA, your mitochondria, and your cell membranes, which are the control centers of energy and repair. When your cells feel safe, inflammation naturally starts to decline. Your body shifts from survival mode into restoration mode. One of the most powerful things about olive oil is how it supports your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside each cell. When mitochondria are weak or damaged, your energy drops and inflammation rises. Olive oil helps stabilize these structures, improving energy production while reducing inflammatory signaling. That's why people who use it regularly often report feeling more energetic, mentally sharper, and physically lighter. Their bodies are no longer fighting constant internal chaos. They are finally able to function efficiently. It also plays a critical role in balancing your immune system. Chronic inflammation often means your immune system is overreacting, attacking your own tissues as if they were threats. Extra virgin olive oil gently brings this system back into balance. It reduces the production of inflammatory messengers like CRP, TNF-alpha, and interleukins that keep the body in a constant state of alert. Instead of suppressing immunity, it regulates it. That distinction is powerful. You don't want a weaker immune system, you want a wiser one. Another hidden battlefield of inflammation is the gut. Most immune cells live in your digestive system, and when your gut lining is irritated or damaged, inflammation spreads throughout the entire body. Extra virgin olive oil coats and protects the gut lining, improves the diversity of beneficial bacteria, and reduces gut permeability. A stronger gut barrier means fewer toxins entering the bloodstream and fewer inflammatory signals being triggered. This is why better digestion, reduced bloating, and calmer skin often appear when olive oil becomes part of daily life. It even influences your blood vessels. Inflammation stiffens arteries and disrupts circulation. Olive oil keeps blood vessels flexible, improves blood flow, and reduces the risk of clot formation. This is not only anti-inflammatory, it is anti-aging at the cardiovascular level. Your heart works more efficiently, your brain receives better oxygen, and your entire body benefits from smoother circulation. But here comes a gentle warning. All of this power depends on how you use it. Even the strongest medicine loses its impact if taken incorrectly. Heating it too much, using poor quality oil, or consuming it inconsistently can weaken its effects. Knowing that it works at such a deep cellular level raises one important question. How do you use this liquid medicine in a way that protects its healing compounds and allows your body to receive its full anti-inflammatory strength every single day? Using extra virgin olive oil correctly is what transforms it from ordinary food into daily medicine. The biggest mistake people make is treating it like any other cooking oil, exposing it to high heat, mixing it with heavy frying, and unknowingly destroying the very compounds that make it healing. Oleocanthal and polyphenols are delicate. They are alive, active, and sensitive to temperature. When overheated, their anti-inflammatory power weakens. That's why the most powerful way to use extra virgin olive oil is raw or gently added after cooking. 1 tablespoon in the morning on an empty stomach can act like a reset button for your body. It wakes up your digestion, coats your gut lining, activates anti-inflammatory pathways, and sends a signal to your immune system that safety and balance have returned. If the taste feels strong, you can mix it with a little lemon juice. This not only makes it easier to consume, but also enhances detoxification and liver support, adding it to salads, steamed vegetables, lentils, soups, or even drizzling it over cooked rice cake. Keeps its medicinal properties intact. Think of it as a finishing oil, not a frying oil. Consistency matters more than quantity. 1 tablespoon daily is far more powerful than large amounts taken occasionally. Healing is built through rhythm, not force. When your body receives this gentle support every day, it slowly begins to trust the environment again, lowering its defensive inflammatory response. Combining extra virgin olive oil with certain foods multiplies its power. With garlic, it strengthens heart protection and circulation. With leafy greens, it improves antioxidant absorption. With turmeric, interestingly, it actually enhances curcumin absorption, turning turmeric into a better ally rather than a competitor. This is where real healing intelligence shows up, not choosing one food over another, but understanding how foods cooperate inside your body. But here comes a light warning most people overlook. Quality decides everything. If the oil is old, refined, or mixed with cheaper oils, its healing effect drops dramatically. Extra virgin olive oil should have a fresh aroma, a slightly peppery taste, and be stored in a dark glass bottle away from heat and light. If it tastes flat or greasy, it is likely already oxidized and offering little protection. Using poor quality oil is like taking expired medicine. You believe you're helping yourself while the inflammation quietly remains. There is also a temptation to overuse it once people learn about its benefits. More is not always better. Your body works best with balance. Excess fat, even healthy fat, can burden digestion if taken in large amounts. Respect the dosage. Trust the process. Healing through food is about partnership with your body, not domination over it. And as powerful as daily olive oil use is, there's another layer that decides who needs this medicine the most. Because not every body suffers the same way, and not every person carries the same inflammatory burden. Some people are silently crying for this support more than others, and recognizing those signs can change everything before damage becomes disease. Some bodies carry inflammation like a quiet storm, hidden beneath routines that look normal from the outside. These are the people who wake up already tired, whose joints feel heavy before the day even begins, who struggle with stubborn belly fat no matter how clean they eat, and who feel their focus slipping even when they try their best to stay sharp. Inflammation doesn't always announce itself with pain. Often it disguises itself as low energy, hormonal imbalance, skin problems, digestive discomfort, mood swings, or a constant feeling that the body is slightly off. These are the people who need extra virgin olive oil the most because their systems are working overtime to survive instead of thriving. When the body is trapped in chronic stress, it burns nutrients faster, weakens its defenses, and loses its ability to regulate inflammation naturally. Olive oil becomes not just helpful but essential support. People suffering from joint stiffness, muscle pain, or early arthritis signs benefit deeply from this daily protection. Their tissues are inflamed, their circulation is often restricted, and their recovery is slow. Extra virgin olive oil improves lubrication in joints, supports blood flow, and calms immune overreaction that attacks connective tissue. Over time, movement becomes easier, pain becomes quieter, and flexibility returns. The same applies to those struggling with heart health or high blood pressure. Inflammation thickens blood and hardens arteries, while olive oil keeps them smooth and elastic, reducing internal resistance and supporting steady circulation. Those dealing with hormonal imbalance, especially women, are also carrying invisible inflammation. Hormones are extremely sensitive to oxidative stress. When inflammation rises, hormonal signals become confused, cycles become irregular, energy crashes increase, and emotional balance becomes fragile. Olive oil nourishes the endocrine system by stabilizing cellular membranes and improving fat-soluble nutrient absorption, helping hormones communicate clearly again. Even the brain is not spared. Brain fog, anxiety, memory issues, and mental fatigue are often rooted in neuroinflammation. The fats in extra virgin olive oil protect nerve cells, reduce oxidative damage, and improve blood flow to the brain. This is why regular use is linked to better focus, sharper thinking, and long-term cognitive protection. But here is a gentle warning that many ignore. Inflammation doesn't discriminate. You don't need to be sick to need protection. Waiting for pain or disease is waiting too long. Extra virgin olive oil works best when used preventively, when the body is still strong enough to respond quickly and rebuild itself. This is where awareness becomes power. Once you recognize how many systems depend on inflammation balance, you realize this is not about treating symptoms, it's about building a body that resists damage before it begins. And when you truly understand that, something shifts inside you, because now you are ready to see the bigger reward, the transformation that happens when inflammation finally loses its grip and your body returns to its natural state of healing. So now you understand the truth. Healing is not about searching for exotic powders or miracle supplements. Sometimes the strongest medicine is already in your kitchen, waiting for you to use it correctly. Extra virgin olive oil is not just food. It is liquid anti-inflammation. It is protection. It is repair. It is longevity in a bottle. You were told turmeric is the king, but kings change when science evolves. Olive oil doesn't need marketing. It has centuries of evidence and decades of research behind it. It works quietly, deeply, and consistently. It doesn't promise magic. It delivers healing. Imagine waking up with less stiffness. Imagine clearer thinking, better digestion, more energy, less pain. That's not fantasy. That's what happens when inflammation drops. When inflammation drops, your body finally gets permission to heal 1 tablespoon a day. That's all it takes to be in a transformation, not overnight, but steadily, naturally, safely. Your body's always trying to protect you. It only needs the right fuel. And today, you've discovered that fuel, if this video changed the way you look at food, share it with someone you love. Because real healing spreads through awareness. Stay connected with Care and Cure Corner, where we don't chase trends, we follow truth.